Greetings, everyone. Here's something from Trend Hacker today, not with a future story, but with a late Easter egg, if you will, beyond your bubble, but is now moving fast mainstream. Could the universe be a dark, dangerous forest where civilizations hide in fear, driven by the primal instinct for survival? Liu Cixin's Remembrance of Earth's Past, now adapted by Netflix Three Body Problem, or maybe you know it under You Are Bugs, explores this chilling question with profound implications for navigating our era of rapid technological change. His stories, deeply rooted in the essence of our being and societal values, explore the multifaceted nature of human relationships, power flux, the spectrum between heroes and anti heroes, the delicacy of trust and hope, and the dangerous dance of almost delusional self assurance. Because it not only explores a technological utopia or dystopia, but also considers us. This is one of my favorite fictional stories. Liu Cixin's narrative is deeply rooted in our present reality and future research more holistically than I favor. Considering the intersection of progressive technology and our emotional humanity, he explores how individuals react in the face of unprecedented crises. Over hundreds of years, each period defined by a new societal reality with all its challenges. However, Liu Cixin's narrative doesn't halt at mere human introspection. It ventures into the expansive realm of geopolitical orientations, albeit with a darker tint presenting a reflection that intriguingly possible explanations for the Fermi paradox. Picture a universe where silence and deception are not merely strategies, but prerequisites for survival, where the dread of the unknown drives civilizations toward extreme measures extinction. This narrative is far from fictional. It mirrors a somber, vast forest teeming with hunters, each wary of their counterparts, their every step a calculated risk, an attempt to decipher the motives of invisible adversaries. For that reason, he introduces light spoiler alert, two interstellar axioms, the axioms of cosmic sociology. Survival is paramount. Civilizations will do whatever it takes to survive, even resorting to morally unthinkable action. The cosmic competition, resources are finite, creating an inherent potential for conflict as civilizations expand. Those are not illogical, yet cruel, self centered, and somehow imaginable in moments of crises. Central to this is what he calls the dark forest theory, which portrays the universe as a domain inhabited by silent predators. Each civilization, in its relentless quest for endurance, might preempt potential threats, engendering a cosmos veiled in secrecy. This gives rise to the chain of suspicion, a metaphorical thread weaving uncertainty into the fabric of interstellar relations, creating a tapestry of mistrust in the vastness of space. It begs the question, can trust ever truly dispel the shadows of the unknown, or are we eternally condemned to misinterpret gestures of peace as veiled threat? The dark forest theory mirrors a daily fear. How can trust flourish when the motives of others remain cloaked in mystery? This suspicion permeates new technologies, workplace dynamics, and any arena where the specter of unseen threats looms large, casting long shadows over our attempts at understanding. Furthering this narrative, Liu Cixin introduces the concept of explosive technology development, which he portrays as a double edged sword that propels humanity toward both unparalleled advancement and potential self destruction. Liu's narratives caution against the dangers of uncontrolled technological acceleration, where progress outstrips our comprehension and plants the seeds of catastrophic outcome. Survival, the most primal instinct, emerges as a guiding principle for these cosmic entities, mirroring our trepidations as we navigate the tumultuous waters of the AI revolution. This notion of explosive technology development haunts our endeavors in artificial intelligence. The question arises, will we lose control over systems we scarcely understand? The axioms and guiding principles Liu presents can perfectly translate to our current apprehension regarding AI's capabilities and intention. As artificial intelligence becomes more deeply entwined with critical aspects of our existence, our suspicion deepens, leaving us unsure how to proceed. We clamor for the survival of humanity, wary that jobs often viewed as finite resources could trigger economic upheaval and fierce competition for the remaining positions in sectors like manufacturing and transportation. We demand control, regulation, and, most crucially, ethical decision making to circumvent the negative repercussions of explosive technology development on humanity. Yet, overcoming our innate apprehension toward the unknown poses a significant challenge. Lear's work raises a pivotal question. As technology races ahead of our understanding, can we carve out a trajectory where progress and responsible foresight converge, ensuring a future where innovation and ethical governance stride forward hand in hand?